Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Bilal Sheikh. Due to quite a bit of demand from friends, family, and colleagues, I've decided to showcase my home office setup. Now, Rome wasn't built in a day and neither was my setup. I started with one screen and an L-shaped desk and gradually upgraded to a new desk, an additional screen, a Thunderbolt 3 dock, and other accessories, eventually arriving at my current setup. So the key components of my home office setup are, of course, my screens. These are both 55-inch TVs that I'm using as my external monitors, and they give me a lot of screen real estate to work with. Now, I remember reading an article quite a few years ago which discussed how the most pragmatic use for 4K displays was not watching movies or videos in high resolution, rather its productivity. This is because you get so much screen real estate with a 4K screen, such that each quadrant or quarter of a display is the equivalent of an individual 1080p display. With these 55-inch 4K screens, each quadrant is the equivalent of a 27.5-inch 1080p display. So with two 4K TVs and my laptop monitor, I have the equivalent of 9 1080p displays. That is a lot of room for me to place my application windows such that most, if not all of them, are available at a glance. So over here, you can see Visual Studio Code open in portrait mode. I have a flowchart open, a browser window. I have Outlook open over here, as well as Microsoft Teams. I have Wikipedia article open in portrait mode. So you can see that is a lot of screen real estate to work with, which is fantastic for productivity. You can have your emails and messages open. If you're doing coding or design work, you can have that and any reference docs you need at the ready. You don't have to do a lot of window switching. Everything you need is available at a glance. These larger 4K screens are great for this, and I have found them to be very helpful for productivity. Now, since these are TVs and not monitors, there are several things that you need to keep in mind when deciding to use a TV as your computer's display. First, you need to ensure that the TV you choose supports HDMI 2.0 or higher on at least one of its HDMI ports. This is to allow enough bandwidth for your computer to connect to your TV at 4K resolution with 60 Hz as the refresh rate. Any less bandwidth would limit your resolution or your refresh rate. And the entire point of having a 4K TV is to get, of course, a 4K resolution, and a lower refresh rate will make things look jumpy and not smooth. Next, you need to ensure that your TV supports what's called Chroma 444. Essentially, this means that your TV supports uncompressed video data through the HDMI cable. Without this, the TV may have issues displaying text from your computer. The other thing to keep in mind is that TVs are typically designed to be viewed from a far greater distance than monitors. So you're likely to experience quite a bit of eye strain if you don't adjust some settings. You can start with the backlight, or some TVs have a gamma setting. I have it set to 0. I have reduced the brightness as well. Listen to your body, listen to your eyes. If your eyes feel strained, don't just let it slide. Adjust the settings until your eyes are comfortable. A lot of modern TVs have a game mode, which reduces latency. This means there is less time between you performing an action with your mouse or keyboard and that action showing up on your screen. So you want to turn game mode on if you have it. One thing you may have noticed is that I am using a single remote to control both displays. I found that to be very handy for turning them on and off at the same time. If you're using multiple displays from the same brand and model year, you can likely control them with a single remote. Another thing you want to ensure is that both displays are the same size. Either that or have one of them oriented in portrait mode. In my previous setup, I had one 40-inch display and one 58-inch display, and I found that to be quite unbalanced and uncomfortable for viewing. Yeah, once I switched to two displays that were of the same size, I found it to be much more comfortable and much less straining. Additionally, I found that 58 inches tends to be on the bigger side and required that I turn my neck a bit to view things at the edge of the screen, which was uncomfortable. For me, I'd say between 45 and 55 inches gives the best balance between lots of room on my screen and minimal straining, with the sweet spot being at about 50 or 52 inches. Now, for the other components of my setup, of course, there is my chair over here. This is from Secret Labs. It's a gaming chair which I have found fantastic for office use. This happens to be the Titan model. The recommendation form from Secret Labs website suggested the Omega model because of my height and weight. However, I went with the Titan simply because I like the extra legroom it provides along with its wider base, and it comes with a built-in lumbar support with it, which I really love and find comfortable. Other components of my setup are my Microsoft Natural Keyboard. Unfortunately, these are getting harder and harder to find. I also have a Logitech G604 mouse. For my headsets, I have a Jabra Evolve 75, which was fantastic. It served me well for a number of years. Unfortunately, its mic started to give out about a month ago, so I replaced it with a Poly headset, which is also fantastic. Both the Evolve 75 and the Poly have noise canceling mics, as well as active noise cancellation, which is fantastic for shutting out ambient noise. My desk itself is a sit-stand desk from EffiDesk. It's 72 inches across, which gives me a lot of desktop room and is quite comfortable to use. I have a Thunderbolt 3 dock from Dell, which I use to connect to one of my screens, and the other is connected directly to my laptop via HDMI. I have a portable USB-C hub, as well as a mini Thunderbolt 3 dock, which supports DisplayPort, power delivery, and Ethernet, which is fantastic for connecting peripherals on the go. So this is essentially my setup. I will link to the items I use, as well as some alternatives which may work as substitutes, down in the description through affiliate links. Please go ahead and make use of those. Please also like and subscribe. I don't know how often I'll be making videos at the moment, but when I do make videos, hopefully you'll find them useful and informative. Thank you very much. Bye.